Hello, and welcome to Tea with the Druid, Tea with the Druid 369. I'm Philip Cargom, and Tea with the Druid is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates, and Druids. So you're very welcome if it is your first time, or if you're a regular, it's fantastic too. And I can see, just make yourself comfortable. I can see people arriving from Mexico City, Wadawurrung country in Australia, Saltburn in Teesside, Scottsdale, Arizona, Prince Edward Island, Canada. I was going to say fast. Gloucestershire, near Stroud, West Penwith, Norway, the Netherlands, Dallas, Pembrokeshire, Glass Houses, North Yorkshire, Virginia, Gloucestershire, Bradford-on-Avon, Finland, Hastings, Bonn in Germany, Melbourne and New York and North Carolina and Ottawa, and southern Spain. Yeah, good to see you. So gradually find a comfortable spot in our clearing in the forest, and let's wait for everyone to arrive. I wonder if Devatara is in Clare. I've just got back from Clare, County Clare in Ireland, and County Carlow. So maybe your Devatara, you were there or are there. Hertfordshire, Lincolnshire. So yes, I've literally arrived just an hour or so ago from Ireland, and it's a real pleasure to be with you and to feel that connection amongst us. And maybe you'd like to, just as you settle here, just take a moment to take in a slow, deep breath. Hold for a moment and then breathe out fully and deeply. And as you breathe out, just allow yourself to let go of all the cares, all the concerns, all the tensions you might have been holding. Just for now, just for this moment, our oasis time, our time of connecting in. And another deep breath, and then breathing out fully and deeply. And Selena, originally from Tipperary in Ireland, fantastic. I remember driving past the road signs to Tipperary just yesterday. And just check in, say how you're feeling. How are you feeling at the moment? However, whatever comes to you. Naomi says, Claire is so lovely. When I first saw the Burren, I cried. I didn't know such beauty existed. Yes, I was there for a wonderful lunar wedding of my son. My son was getting married to it's a lovely Irish girl in County Clare. Isn't it fantastic? We had such a great time. Karasu, exhausted after exercise, feeling peaceful today, low energy, feeling okay in a good way, centered and happy for some much needed clarity that I've received over the last few days. Confused, calm and settled, cautiously hopeful, subdued, at peace. My heart is full, feeling blessed, tired and happy. I'm sorry, it's going really fast. Restless too. It must be the wind and the rain. Yeah, there's this storm. Storm Floris has hit us. Sad, calm. Love and gratitude to all from Costa Rica and Wisconsin. Cozy in my bed. Settled after running an online meditation class. Joy, inspired. Emotionally coasting at the moment. Relaxing after an evening walk with a dog in nature. Tired, just woke up. Good morning from New Zealand. So sad with what is happening in Gaza. Yes, indeed, it's a tragedy. Relaxed, we had a lovely storm, still blustery, warm and bright. What was that? Lost electricity, only lost electricity for a couple of hours. Had a lovely bath today and read books. Hooray. Thinking of my wonderful holiday in Ireland in the early 70s. still refreshed after a calming, joyous Imbolc weekend here in Oz. Of course, we must always remember that it's the opposite season. So for many of us here, it's Lunacy, it's Lammas time. It's this wonderful time of harvest, the first harvest, beginning of August. And on the other side of the world, some of us are going through Imbolc, just waking up to spring. Up here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving from the first harvest to the second harvest. So so many comments. I can't keep up. They're getting too far. I'll get dizzy and I won't be able to talk. So do keep writing them though to share, and I'll keep talking. So now is a time, Lammas time is a time here in the Northern Hemisphere, but it applies in the Southern Hemisphere as well, because although these seasonal festivals are really important because they kind of weave us into the life of the land and the story of nature as it unfolds around us, they also trigger universal experience, resonate with universal experiences within us, and stimulate us to think about and open up to certain aspects of life, whatever the time of the year is. So even if you're on the Southern Hemisphere now, hopefully, these ideas will resonate with you too. And that is that, isn't it interesting if you think about it, that this is a time of harvest. And when you think about harvest, you think about gathering in, about benefiting from all the hard work that you've done. And so the energy is coming in towards you. And yet here's the beautiful irony, but beautiful irony, in the fact that it's precisely at this time that you're also encouraged to let go. So for instance, you harvest your life as you get towards old age. It's a very lovely experience of harvesting all the labor you've put into to creating your life and so on. You harvest, you have a rich storehouse of memories that you gather. But the invitation is then to let go, because eventually you're going to move on into the other world. So how, I think somebody mentioned bittersweet. It's a bittersweet time, says Naomi. Yes. So a time of feasting, of celebration, of gathering in, of the fruits of the land, all this hard work, and yet also the invitation to start letting go. And then that carries on into the second harvest of the autumn equinox, and then the third harvest festival of Samhain, where you let go completely, and at a metaphorical level, or seen in this way, you move on into the next life. So very beautiful, that. It's the yin and yang of it. And when I was going to Ireland, I was reading this wonderful book. I apologize for my pronunciation, Muncan Magan, who I hope I'm going to be able to interview. He's agreed to an interview on This Magical Life. I heard him speaking at the Boris Literary Festival when I was in Ireland in June. And he's written a really interesting book about this amazing connection between Ireland and India. The whole connection, the Indo-European connection, which is why we can quite happily connect with ideas and practices in the Dharmic traditions of Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and so on, and with Druid practices, for instance. They come from the same roots. And he's written a book about that. And he's also written another book before that called Listen to the Land Speak. And I thought I'd just read you a little bit of it to set the scene for you, and then hopefully he'll come on and we can have an in-depth discussion with him. So this is from his preface. I woke up one morning in my girlfriend's camper van on a rocky outcrop in County Cork with two conflicting thoughts circling through my mind. We were punked up on a stretch of clumped marram grass and sea campions, so that when the sun rose, we'd be staring straight out onto the Atlantic towards Newfoundland. There were caves and caverns beneath us that had been excavated 2,000 years ago by our ancestors, who mined copper here, and over the centuries since then, the caves became associated with the deeds of mythical figures from the Iron Age, and then with real-life smugglers from the 18th century. The first idea that struck me as I steeled myself for an early morning swim in the waves lapping just below me was that Ireland is rather unusual in a European context, in that the superiority of history over legend was never established, nor was there a clear line drawn between them. The legacy of miners in these caves has blended imperceptibly into the folktale figures and sea pirates who occupied them later, creating a unified story. As a colonized people who had a biased and inaccurate account of our past forced on us by an oppressor, we realized that history could be just as fanciful as legend, and that neither was necessarily more accurate than the other. We tended to regard both our history and our geography through a mythological lens, realizing that myth could hold certain inalienable truths that we had seen corrupted by the colonizing forces of the church, followed by the Anglo-Normans and then the English. The second idea that landed in on top of me that morning was that landscape is a mnemonic, an arrangement of natural and physical elements that help us remember things that are often greater than the landscape itself. This is not to say that the geographical features are not vital, but as well as being profound and potent in and of themselves, they are vessels for the history, beliefs, and culture of our people, going back thousands of years. These two ideas have led me, 2 years later, to this exploration of land and the myths associated with it, and to their combined ability to unlock aspects of the living landscape. My intention is to bring you on a journey around Ireland and invite you to consider a different way of viewing our surroundings. This little armchair tour should work just as well whether you're living on the island or have never stepped foot on it. We'll start with some of the principal elements of the landscape: rivers, trees, bogs, and mountains, and expand outwards from there to encompass wider and wilder ideas. And of course, the Druids come into it, and we'll hear more from Mankin when I get to talk to him for this magical life. And so, thinking of the land and the landscape, let's drop now into a meditation. Let's gently close our eyes or lower our gaze or just soften our gaze. Or if you're new here and you want to see what this is all about, by all means, just watch this and listen and see if you like it. What we'll do is we'll become aware of being seated wherever we are, fully conscious of our surroundings, but gradually dropping into the silence and into a journey that I'll lead you on. A brief journey of a few moments where we become aware of our surroundings and then allow them to gently fade so that the walls around us, the floor beneath us, and the ceiling above us just gently start to dissolve as we find ourselves in a forest clearing, a sacred glade or grove, a place beloved of the Druids, both in ancient times and today. A place where we are close to nature, close to the land, close to our brothers and sisters, the trees, to the animals of the forest, to the birds in the trees, and to the wide sky above us. And as you settle into wherever you're seated in this circle, You notice that others have gathered too, so that we're making this informal circle. A little fire, tiny little fire, just a few twigs crackling and burning, giving us this delicious smell of wood smoke. Hearing the birds in the trees, and just allowing ourselves to tune in to the earth beneath us. You might even like to lie back, leaning against the trunk of a tree, or even just lying on the ground, just allowing yourself to just let go, to feel the support of the earth and the way you can really let go, the way you can allow the land to offer you her healing, her energy. Just breathing in and breathing out. And with every out breath, you can feel your muscles relaxing more and more. So that each time you breathe out, a deeper level of tension is just melting away. And you can sense how the energy of the earth is helping every cell of your body, every part of your being, to feel rested and to feel connected with the source of life. Just with an energy that flows through the earth and that flows through your body too. Clearing out blockages, clearing out tensions, and bringing with it a kind of vigorous, vital energy that stimulates every cell of your body. And you sense now how you are being refreshed by the moisture in the soil too. And you sense the way the moisture is being drawn up by the roots of the trees. And you become aware now of the trees and of the trunks of the trees. And you sense how the trees are alive, are living spirits. And we give our love to these trees. Dear trees, we thank you for your shade. We thank you for the oxygen that we breathe. And as you breathe out, you're aware that your out breath feeds the trees, just as your in breath is fed to you by the trees in the oxygen that they release from their leaves. And you gently sit up, and as you sit up, you enjoy this feeling of a part of you becoming upright like the trunk of a tree. And your attention is drawn to the crown of the trees, to the branches and leaves and the sky above. And you breathe in now the energy of the sky, and you allow this bright, vivifying energy to flow into you, stimulating every cell of your being. Fresh, clean, vital energy flowing through. And you sense how the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of your being. And you become aware of one of your arms now and hands, and with your eyes closed in the inner grove, you close your inner eyes and just sense yourself stretching your hand out in front of you. And then as you open your inner eye, you see the most beautiful butterfly landing on the palm of your hand, outstretched in front of you. And you can just sense the weight of this butterfly, this weightless weight, just this very gentle touch of the butterfly on your hand. And you become aware of the exquisite beauty of this tiny sense, this sense of touch, and perhaps of sight too, if you see clearly in the other world, in the imaginal world. Just this sense of another being, another creature, alighting on your hand. May this butterfly bring blessings, blessings to our lives. And then we see the butterfly just gently lifting off from our hands, and we become aware of the whole circle now, with dozens and dozens of butterflies flying out from our circle, sending these blessings out from the circle. Hundreds of butterflies. May all of life be blessed. May there be peace on earth. A blessing on our lives and a blessing on the land. And you stretch out both your hands now to take the hand to either side of you in the circle. And without thinking or analyzing or expecting anything, you just notice how it feels to be connected in this circle together. A gentle squeeze to affirm our connection. To affirm the miracle of unity, of humanity, of coming together in peace and in openness and in love. Squeeze of the hands, and then your hands drift down to the earth in front of you. May the earth be blessed. May the land be blessed. And then your hands come up to your heart. May my life be blessed. May all lives be blessed. And as you do this, your awareness of your physical body starts to grow stronger as your awareness of being in the sacred grove begins to fade. And as your awareness of being in the sacred grove, in this glade in the forest, begins to fade from your mind, you become aware of the four walls around you, the floor beneath you, the ceiling above you. And whenever you feel ready, just in your own time, you open your eyes. And as Trixa says, sending love and thoughts to the people in Gaza, to the people in Sudan, to the people in Ukraine, to all those places around the earth where there is suffering. Lloyd says it was a beautiful monarch butterfly. Karasu says, I was seeing through the eyes of a butterfly. It's funny, isn't it? Butterflies are so incredibly beautiful. It can seem almost sort of woo-woo and overly lyrical to think of butterflies in a meditation. But I was in a wonderful place a few hours ago in Malahide, place just near Dublin Airport, which had a butterfly sanctuary, and there were these fabulous butterflies fluttering around. So they're very much on my mind. My crystal says my butterfly was large and opal coloured. Maria says red admirable. Beautiful black and blue swallowtail here. Blue morpho butterfly. Yes, so thank you for being here, and I will see some of you in the hearth if you're able to go into the Druid Hearth. I hope to see you there soon, and I'll definitely see you next Monday. Much love, many blessings, and a very happy Lunasa to you, and Imolc if you're on the Southern Hemisphere. Okay, bye.